first question that I believe is essential when we are dealing with leading with love, the first question you got to ask yourself, number one, is do you have the right definition of love? The first question we must ask ourselves when we're dealing with leading with love is, do you have the right definition of love? In essence, do you view love as an action, as a choice, or a verb versus an emotion? It's the first thing you got to understand, that love is not an emotion. It is an action, it is a verb, and it is a choice. First thing you got to understand. And the reason you have to understand this is because if you do not view love as an action, as a choice, or as a verb versus a feeling or an emotion, it will be impossible to see the power of love manifest in your life as a leader, because the power of love manifests when you make the choice or you act on love. Someone say love. I'll give you an example. As a leader, I will be asked to forgive people at certain points in my life. Now, as many of you know, there are times I will not feel like forgiving someone. As a matter of fact, I want to give them a piece of my mind, and I may just want to really, really give them a piece of my mind, and y'all know what I'm saying. But because I choose to lead with love, I choose to forgive. Therefore, by choosing to forgive and lead with love, I see the impact of forgiving others. Another example, as a leader, I'm going to be required to be patient with people. Now, all of you know there are moments where I don't feel like being patient with people. There are moments when people get on my last nerves. I'm like, close the door, let the door hit you where it's, get out my face. But when I choose to love, I choose to be patient. And when I choose to be patient, I see the benefits and the impact of love. Another aspect that I'll be required to do as a leader is I will be required to make sacrifices. Say sacrifices. Now, everybody knows there are times I don't feel like making a sacrifice. I don't feel like being the only one up at 6 o'clock in the morning working on the project. This is a team effort. But as a leader, I will have to make sacrifices, and I will not feel like making the sacrifice. But again, if I'm going to lead with love, I choose to make a sacrifice, although I do not feel like it. And when I choose to make a sacrifice, when I don't feel like it, I begin to see the impact of love manifest. Another example is, as a leader, you will be required to give of yourself at moments where it may actually affect you. You may be asked to give your last dollar for the betterment of somebody else. Now, it does not feel good to go broke for someone else to get by. It doesn't feel good. But if I'm leading with love, at some points in my life, I choose to want the best for someone else versus myself. And the impact of love manifests when I'm able to do this. So what we're seeing is there are acts of love I don't feel like doing, but when I choose to lead with love and act in certain ways, that's when I see the results of leading with love. Someone say love. And it's why this man right here by the name of Joel Manby, he is the author of Love Works. He was featured on Undercover Boss, and he says, and I quote, he says, in order to see the power of love work, you must see it as a verb and not an emotion. This is the CEO of a major company, I believe Hershey Entertainment Company, and he says literally in his book, he said, if you do not see love as a verb and you see it as an emotion, you will not see the power of love manifest in your life. And a great example of this I like to use is Dr. King. Now, when most people talk about Dr. King, one of the first things they're going to talk about is, I have a dream. And the second thing they're going to talk about is the civil rights movement. And all these are wonderful aspects of Dr. King's life. But the aspect of his life that I think is really critical that we must all analyze is the aspect of the nonviolent movement. The aspect of the movement where he made up in his mind that if they hit you, if they talk about you, if they slap you, whatever they do, don't respond with hate, respond with peace. It's challenging because what he is saying basically, love those who hate you. Love those who despise you. Love the haters in your life. This is his nonviolent movement. And under this nonviolent movement, there is a love ethic. And the love ethic is this, that Dr. King understood that when you contend with, when you use love to contend with hate, love will always overcome hate. That's so good. When I stop getting revenge and stop hating people and start letting people affect me, but I say I'm going to love, I'm going to respect, I'm going to treat you good. Sometimes I'm just going to walk away from the situation. He understood that at the end of the day, this ethic of love will always overcome evil. And because he understood this ethic, he got to see tremendous things manifest in the civil rights movement. I believe with all my heart that if he didn't do this, if he didn't have this nonviolent movement, I do not believe we'll be where we are today. I believe he tapped into an aspect of leadership, tapped into an aspect of truth in life that many people will never, ever realize. But he understood that concept because he had the right perspective of love. And this is what you gotta understand. As leaders, when I have the right perspective of love and I actually start walking in it, it's gonna be hard because some folks are gonna get on your last nerve. But if you start walking in it, it's gonna hurt. You're gonna get hit. You're gonna be like, man, I feel like a punk. But you keep walking in that thing and you keep walking in that thing and you're gonna start to see the power and the transformation and the redemptive power of love manifest in your life of leadership. And so the lesson from this first point is this, that if I'm going to lead with love, the first thing I must do is I must understand love is not an emotion, love is not a feeling, love is a choice. Say choice. Love is an action. Say action. Love is a verb. Say verb. Meaning I have to be patient, action. I have to be forgiving, action. I have to make sacrifices, action. I have to want the best for others, action. I have to give, action. This is all an attribute of love. And when you start functioning that, you start seeing the amazing power and impact of love.